Hey, Berk, what's going on with the story? You know?
The rantings of someone who had to write a story in 2 hours after
Like-
being sleep deprived for 48 hours.
Welcome. We're playing, me and Berk are playing Fear 3, one of the worst games ever made.
Is it really?
Actually, I wouldn't go that far. It is one of the worst
Like
horror
co-op
sequels
games?
ever made.
Well, that's such a tall order to say the worst horror sequel, because horror sequel always implies usually it got worse.
I honestly think it's worse than Dead Space 3. I think it's worse than Condemned 2.
Now that is a tall statement from you. I know your love for Condemned.
Condemned 1 that's up there.
So for you to condemn, Condemned 2 is
Condemned 2 is a fucking awful game. They ruined the character. The main guy in Condemned 1 was just he was a normal, level-headed detective or FBI.
just
FBI
some
agent.
guy.
And then in the second one, he has an emo haircut and he's all grouchy. He's like, I was betrayed by the system. And he looks like Glenn Danzig. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, I know the motherfucker. Yeah.
The picture of him carrying kitty litter. That's what that's what the main protagonist in Condemned 2 looks like.
Oh no. I'm finally the true monster I'm supposed to be.
Also, did you notice how there is a cover mechanic?
Yeah.
God, it's despicable what they turned this game into.
Fear and Dead Space 3 both suffered from the Gears of War Call of Duty shoot-a-man.
Yeah, that Gears of War will probably be is probably the worst thing that ever happened to action games.
I really enjoyed Gears of War myself.
Oh,
The
sorry,
effect
go
it
ahead.
had on the industry, not so great.
There is a fun. So I will say, Fear 1 had a very simplistic but pretty fun multiplayer mode. So with Fear 2, I think it specifically started with Fear 2, and then by the time they got to Fear 3, they had to focus on the multiplayer. So this game did actually have quite a few multiplayer modes. I think my favorite one was mostly my favorite one in concept is that everyone was Paxton Fettel, or had the same abilities as Paxton Fettel,
Yeah.
and you had to inhabit bodies. So, oh, sorry, I just killed that guy.
It's okay. It was funny to see you skeet shoot him.
It was like free-for-all deathmatch, except for instead of respawning, you would leave your body, and you have to find another one to possess. It's kind of a fun concept. The cover mechanics are very sticky. Like, you get stuck to cover, and you really can't get out of it.
Yeah.
How you doing down there,
Oh no,
Berk?
I'm down because I'm.
Is there a timer to when you're gonna die?
Yes. I'm
oh,
trying to
this is-
crawl to you,
How long
and
do
they're
you have?
shooting me, and it makes it go down faster. So who is the best son for now? I have no idea. Is that
I'm
a
the
thing in
best
this
son.
game? That who's the better? I have
we're
never
brothers.
played Fear 3.
We're brothers. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember from like 12 years ago when
So
this
who's the
game
better
first came out.
Who's the better son, Berk? Probably not the guy who created a clone army.
Validating.
Berk, go back. I love how you run. Look. Oh God, sorry. There's baddies. Look. Uh-oh. Oh shit.
What?
Did the game crash for you?
It finally kicked out.
The
But
game literally hard crashed. Oh my God, this game is gonna fucking kill us. Berk, look at me. Look at me. Back up. Look at me when I run to you. Back up, Berk. Look. This is how I run. This is how I run. I look like a little kid.
hold on. Run up. Daddy! I just shot a man. Oh.
Okay, it's crouch, Berk. We gotta be stealthy about this.
Stealthy?
Also, this is the hardest difficulty. Really doesn't feel like it.
About to say, I have been holding forward for the majority of this game,
Fear
and I have
1.
been punished mildly for it.
Fear 1 has some of the best AI in video gaming, period. And this is... It also should be noted that this is made not by Monolith. It's made by a different company.
I actually knew one of the guys who was like a QA tester for this.
Yeah, what was his feedback as a QA tester? Did he just tell them, don't release this?
Yeah, that's what I would have said, but, you know.
Yeah, doesn't this feel like a Fear game, Berk? We're in a like a Mexican prison, I think. Oh, did you just fucking blew up his head? The shotgun is hilarious. The way it's loaded, it's like, you know what? I'm sure you know what a P90 is. It's that,
the goofiest fucking SMG ever made, but it's really cool.
It's that, but the top magazine is full of shotgun shells.
What the fuck? Hold up.
God, you look like we have shit in our pants when we walk.
It's kind of interesting always hearing people when we go back to like retrospective looks on games, because sometimes it's like, hey, I think the game's actually not as bad as everyone gives it flack for. And then there's other people like you and me where I'm like, oh, some of this stuff did not age well. It
did not, yeah. Well, your opinion changes as time goes on, especially when you get exposed to actual good games. Like if Fear 3 is the first game you play, you're gonna think it's the best game ever. But once you play Fear 1, you realize how insignificant every other FPS game is. Berk, is this game spooky? Is this feeling spooky for you?
The only thing that's terrifying about it is how not scary it is.
Yeah, I think co-op games, I mean, that's kind of the whole point of horror, is like a lot of it is because you're by yourself. So when you have a friend to share it with, it becomes a lot less scary. I think they focused more on the multiplayer for this than they did the single player. There was a game mode. It's called Fucking Run.
It's called Run?
Fucking Run. That's the game mode. Fucking Run. But the point is you have to run through a environment as a giant cloud is gaining on you, and you have to shoot through enemies cooperatively, and you have to like speed run your way through the level before this scary cloud consumes everybody.
What, like the cloud from James and the Giant Peach?
Yeah. It's very annoying that I can't sprint out of the way. Also, the sniper's pretty good. Even though this is a bad level to use it on, because there is no long distance shooting.
Oh, they got like the generic Dead Space 2 soundtrack going on.
I was about to say, I'm loving this unique soundtrack. Do you see what I'm doing right now? I'm punching these.
I don't know, trying to crash a helicopter?
We have autopilot. We're fine.
I like that the subtitle just said laughs as we see a man fall violently to his death. Aren't they clones?
No, they're just brothers.
You're fucking insane going back to Fairport. You won't last a minute down there.
That's me.
Don't get you, those freaks will.
It's my logic. I mean, he's being pretty logical. But like that character archetype is what happened to every single, like that happened to the guy from Condemned. Like they turned him into that archetype, like the edgy, grungy military dude who hates everybody.
The Max Payne route.
Yeah, like Max Payne 3.
Max Payne is like the progenitor of that kind of shit in my eyes.
In Max Payne 1, he has a fucking smirk on his mouth the entire game.
Yeah, he's a cocky son of a bitch, and I loved it.
But that's his character. Every single awesome, monolith horror game, just monolith game in general, got really shit sequels.
Oh my god, what did you eat to break out the wall?
Whoa, there's something in the ceilings here, Berk.
I actually will tell you something. These panels do actually give me an anxiety.
Why?
So at one point, I did work for an extermination company. A job, nice. Right? Like a pretty standard, get rid of some ants kind of thing.
Okay.
And, so I'm the new hire. So like, all right, go ahead and pop the panel off and see what's in there. Because, you want to get used to the job. And I open one of these panels up and I just get covered in a black mass of ants.
Why'd you tell me that, Berk?
Because I'm telling you why these panels scare me.
Why would you tell me that?
Oh, and they weren't just small ones, by the way. These were proper, like, real carpenter ants. Each one was about like an inch big. They were big ants.
Oh my god. All right, shoot at the hobos.
I must become the homeless.
We both love Fear 1, so I think that's why we dislike this game so much as we do. What's that? What's going on?
I don't know. I'm putting knives in this guy.
Did a nuke just go off? What the hell just happened?
Remember when you got scared so hard that your teammates turned into skeletons? That was my favorite part of Fear.
That is my favorite part of Fear, is when they turn into skeletons.
Why don't we send the specialist to open the door? And then they turn into skeletons. You're like, what?
God of War is pretty good. I never played. I just wish Monolith would go back to making amazing FPS games instead of just hack and slash RPGs.
I can slide kick.
You can because you're a real boy.
Yeah.
I was actually going to say earlier that this feels like that level in Modern Warfare 2. The one set in the suburb. Why is there a Doom demon screaming in the background? Did you hear that? I like how Point Man looks like a Cro-Magnon. He looks like he looks like the caveman from Ice Age.
I was about to say, you know those the Chad, have you seen the thing on the internet, the Chad filters now? Where like you can over masculine your face? They look like they just kept running it through the filters till it wasn't changing.
Ooh, can I pilot this?
Sinji, get in the robot.
I can pilot this and you can't. That's actually kind of unfair for you.
Yeah, but I get to do funny ghost things, so it works out.
I feel like this game probably has the Dead Space 3 problem with co-op, where they couldn't quite commit to having the game centered around co-op.
It wasn't built to originally be co-op.
It was, so there you have sections that are clearly made for co-op, but then sections that are just not made for co-op.
Yeah,
and it's just an awkward middle ground between the two, and it flip-flops.
So Dead Space 3 suffers from the AI were never built to handle 2 players on the screen at any point. So
Yep.
It feels like the AI will arbitrarily just pick one human player, no matter if one is closer. Hey kids, welcome in.
They will target one player over another. Her eyes are really freaking me out.
I'm telling you, that face is making me uncomfortable. I mean, none of the faces have looked good in this game, but
her pupils were fully dilated, and
yeah,
no one else's pupils were.
I saw that.
What was the obsession with making horror games co-op? Like, why? What was that? Why did developers keep
because as much
why
as
did
we
developers
like
keep trying that?
as much as we bash on RE5, or at least I do, it was technically a commercial success.
So you think it was RE5 that kind of did it?
Yeah, it was also that era where like couch co-oping was still a big thing.
I mean, couch co-op has always been, especially at the time. Yeah. That was weird though. You never think all these horror properties. Oh, I ranked up. I'm level 7 soldier.
Finally, I have more time for.
This is like a fake game. This is like one of those meme games that you'd see on like CSI, like some
ad.
No, like you know, there'll be like a CSI episode and there'll be some shitty teenager playing a game in the background, and it's like he's like fighting zombies, and it says level up, you're level 7 colonel. What I'm saying is this game feels like a parody of real games, Berk. That was the point of that.
Recoil, not like that in a video game, is it? Actually, it's exactly the same.
Oh yeah, and then that was the famous the edit meme.
Yeah.
God,
I was gonna say, you know it from the edit. You know it from the edit.
That is my favorite video ever. That huge compilation.
With the Brody Quest song.
Just all the different. I love all the different edits. God, that's a great video. That brings me back. Did you hear what happened to Gran Turismo?
No,
Gran Turismo 7. So.
There's 7 of them?
Oh, there's probably more than 7. There's 7 numbered ones. So it's an online only game, right? As all modern games are, because that's the nightmare world that we live in. When the game was being reviewed by reviewers, when the review copies were going out, the game was like it was pretty well balanced. Like races gave a lot of money. Microtransactions weren't that important. Cars didn't cost that much.
Yeah. So it was kind of an even playing field. And
it got really good reviews because reviewers were like, hey, it doesn't rely too much on microtransactions. It's easy to make money. It's easy to buy all the cars. The second the reviews came out and the actual game got into consumers' hands, they flipped a switch and they fucking rebalanced it so that all the races gave less money and all the cars cost an insane amount of money. And they specifically waited until all the reviews came out before before they rebalanced it. And that to me is just so funny.
Shit.
That to me is so funny because that is like the culmination of always online games. I just realized, I think the reason I'm dying is because I'm not playing this like a modern or like a military shooter. I'm playing this like a fear game where I'm running in trying to have fun. The game's like, no, you can't do that. No fun for you.
You're trying to play a better experience.
Helicopters just got attacked by a monster. That's pretty cool, right? That's a pretty cool scripted setup.
I like some of the set pieces this game actually's had so far.
It's
I will
well,
give it credit where credit's deserved.
it's well implemented. It's just not. It's not a good Fear game. I don't even think it's that good of a game. Period. It's just kind of a generic
Shoot-a-man game.
military FPS. Yeah, which could be fun on its own. They've fully committed to it. Here's the ultimate problem. I'll say it once this.
Andy, can you
woman
turn
starts
down your
screaming.
hentai? That moaning is way too loud.
Yeah, hold on. I'll turn it down. I'm listening to it as we play. That's why I'm very distracted. But it feels like they couldn't figure out whether or not they wanted to be Halo or Call of Duty. Like, it feels like they want to be like a modern military shooter, but then they also want the weird sci-fi stuff.
If you can.
Berk. Look at me. Look at me, Berk.
I need to get my saucy body, okay? Yeah, you have the cool mech. Oh, fuck, that is a cool mech.
It's a really cool mech, isn't it?
That, please don't stop near me.
Does that do damage?
That did huge damage.
These are pretty. These are very like mech warrior looking mechs too.
They are. These are straight up Mad Cats.
I know. Like, look at that. Look how shitty that looks. Like, there's no shading on those guys. This looks like the opening of Quake 2. And
Hey,
then,
we're the Left 4 Dead map.
it is literally the Left 4 Dead map.
But if I'm playing relax, it's just literally thumb and index finger.
Hey, Berk, I just realized something really depressing. So I was walking over here. I saw my shadow. I'm like,
Yeah, and you got scared?
no, I'm like, oh, this is cool. I can see my shadow. And then I realized we're playing a Fear game. And this entire time, I have not once noticed the dynamic lighting.
Yep. I was about to say, if this is your first time noticing the shadow, that's a bad sign.
That's pretty depressing. Fear 1, the game that literally revolutionized dynamic lighting.
I am a hallucination. Did I tell you at one point I couldn't sleep for 100 hours?
I remember you telling me that you couldn't sleep, but I don't remember it being 100 hours. That sounds insane.
Well, at one point, if I fell asleep, I knew I wouldn't wake up for my last final, so I had to take
Oh
a
my
lot
God.
of caffeine to keep myself awake. Yeah, it was like
What
a
was
shadow
that?
figure that was drawing shit on a chalkboard that I knew wasn't moving or anything. I knew it wasn't real,
Was he
but it
teaching
told me
you,
all
like,
the answers that got me 100% on that test. So clearly,
do
I
you-
knew it was up.
oh God. Is this scary, Berk? Are you spooked?
I mean, the music actually is pretty fun.
It sounds like it was
What's
ripped
scary
from Dead
is-
Space.
I know, but
Music.
it's just straight up Dead Space music.
It's actually a really bad game. I wouldn't call it bad. It's a really mediocre game.
I'm about to say, this is like,
Oh my
I've
God.
never played this game before.
I love sprinting. I love my animation when I sprint.
Oh, hold on. Hold up.
It's
I didn't
so
see what my hands look like in the shadows, but when I sprint, look at
so
me.
funny.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
I feel like the Emperor Palpatine just, I will get him.
Oh my God. Did we find any clone soldiers in this, Berk? Or they were all just Armacam security, right?
I don't know. Because, like, honestly, the AI is not as complicated.
Berk Project Origin. Oh my God. You know how you're like a geek for Dead Space lore? I'm that,
Yeah.
but for Fear lore. So I'm like I'm like the sad, cheaper, off-brand version of you.
Which is already the off-brand horror Halo.
But yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, this is a reference to the novels, Berk. Was there
Fear had books?
any? I don't think it did. I was about to ask, did Fear have any like tie-in stuff?
Does it remind you of those, like, when the Origin horror games, the Dime by Dozen?
Like the ones made on Unity Engine?
Yeah.
It kind of
Doesn't
does.
this setup kind of remind you of it, like a slightly more polished look to it?
You know how you like are a Dead Space and Resident Evil 4 speedrunner? I'm gonna be a Fear 3 speedrunner.
Why would listen? I speedrun 2 games, but why would you do that to yourself?
Of all the games, it's just hello everybody, welcome back to my Fear 3 speedrun number 76. You know there's some guy out there who's happy that he maintains the Fear 3 speedrun. Look, it's Rocky. Get in there. Uh-oh.
Is this
who's
where we
coming?
fight the monster?
You have to put on boxing gloves and beat him. Like, I think of like 2011 to like 2013 or 14. Like those are really bad years for games. Everything was all very soulless. Maybe I just associate 2012 with Halo 4, so I try to block it out. Berk, have I ever mentioned how much I dislike Halo 4?
No, you never have.
Could we have been gods? I think that's a bit of an exaggeration, if I'm being honest. Hey, Berk. What
Yeah?
would make for a better final area, final level, like final boss section of a game? Would it be having you kill the main bad guy and then have a really creepy section where you have to escape the facility? Or would
Like
it
in the first
be...
game?
Or would it be having you fight a giant boss as nameless enemies keep spawning in over and over? I'm obviously making a joke here. Just how bad this compares to Fear 1. Greatest aggression point, man. Oh man, it's like a highlights reel. So we were actually secretly fighting the
Wait,
whole
best
time.
tactical.
What? Best aptitude, Fettel. What does that even mean?
Wait, so we eat the mom.
Yeah.
What kind of
The
Oedipus Rex shit is this?
It's the beauty of childbirth. I like how he's still going too. And just like every fucking shitty horror movie from 2011, it ends with a rock song on credits.
And kind of so loud.
I think Fear 3 took a lot out of both me and the Mud Monster.
It was pretty soul draining. It was,
Is
and
now-
honestly, if there's anyone I would like to suffer through a FPS with, it'd have to be you.